at home during COVID have experienced the horrific do my own hair color or try to cut my bangs. Because of that, I think we've all started to realize how important your hairdresser really is. So for that very reason, we have brought on a fabulous stylist today. Her name is Evie Golding. She's won many, many competitions. You can see her in magazines such as Marie Claire, GQ. She's young, entrepreneurial, the latest in hairdressing. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful audience of mine, let's welcome Evie Golding. Evie from Rockstar, which is West End, Brisbane. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Excellent. And you're with our very beautiful Georgie. Our audience might have seen Georgie before. She's our super assistant on events and all things fabulous, also a great model. I'm a little bit interested to know a little bit more about Rockstar at West End, Brisbane. Can you give us a little bit of a story about the salon, what you do there?
Personally, I have actually been there for about 2.5 years. It is a salon that has a lot of awards and a lot of accolades that support, I guess, the amazing work that we produce as well. We specialize in cut, color, we do extensions, we look after age groups from little as 4 years old to 85. So we really look after a wide group of people, and in the hub of West End, we look after some really amazing creatives, some really amazing teachers. We've got chefs, we've got every type of person come through our doors. So we really have quite a select group that we work with. And I work with a small group. There's probably about 9 of us in the salon. And we've been working very hard through all of this COVID for fantastic styles of people cutting their own bangs and doing their own home colors. So we've really been thrown lots of lovely curveballs, but only makes our job even more exciting. So at the moment, we've been pretty busy with lots of awards that have just come through. As Lizzie was saying, we just had our Australian Hair Industry Awards, and that is where I won Hot Shots, which is a group of up-and-coming hairdressers in the industry. So that groups us all together, and we kind of are the ones to watch in the industry through Australia and New Zealand. So that is really nice kind of limelight to have on our salon as well, to show how hard we've been working.
Can you tell me, what are the common mistakes people make with their hair?
I find a lot of the time people probably fall into the Instagram filter expectation side of things, seeing all these amazing models and influencers have incredible changes back to back from being blonde, dark, short, long, and kind of expecting that's what they can get in the salon for, let's say, quite small amount of money. It takes a lot of investment to have good hair. Like, you need to understand the maintenance, you need to understand the products that you're using, and you need to have a really good hairdresser that's happy to go along with that journey as well. So I think the biggest thing that I find people don't really understand the wealth of being, I guess, with a hairdresser that is good, and understanding how to obviously have a hairdresser that understands your hair. So with that obviously comes with, I guess, higher market as well. So I think a lot of people think that they're coming in and not going to be getting a lot, but we charge the way we charge because of the amount of training and education and knowledge that we have under our belts. So I think people kind of, I guess, don't understand what hairdressing is and how, I guess, hard and how much we train to do.
Evie, I think they do now. After COVID, everybody realizes how important their hairdresser actually is.
Exactly.
I think it's probably important for the audience to know, like, how do you know what your hair type is? How do you define that? And then how do you find the right products to go with that?
I think a lot of the time people don't understand the fine to thick kind of hair groups. So what, I guess, your thick hair does need compared to your fine hair. And I hear a lot of people saying that product weighs down their hair, or it's not working. And it's really just going back to the basics. So like, when you touch and feel your hair, how does it feel to you? And then what you want it to feel in the end. So I find I've got quite fine hair, but I love texture. So just going back to understanding what I want from my hair is what you're going to find probably in the right products. So wanting texture, you want maybe some more volume, you might want some more grit to your hair, so using something that might be adding a bit more of that like dry texture so that it holds. And then for thick hair, a lot of the times it might be the words that come with it is unruly, a little bit harder to manage, it's drier. So going on to something that's probably going to help weigh it down and add a bit more nourishment to it. So using all your beautiful kind of oils and your creams and understanding, again, what you want from your hair, and then kind of going back to the basics and finding out what your hair is like.
Exactly. And Georgie, you are probably my most favorite model ever. You've had a lot of different hairstyles recently with Evie, from long to short. What do you love about your stylist?
I love how Evie is she's really creative, but she's creative to, personalizing to each person. So she's really good with taking creative direction and then also making it something that, that you're going to love. And really loves change as well. I'm a big person who loves change, and, is always up for anything. And it's always a really good time. We always have a really good chat. It's a good vibe.
So how do we determine what the right style is for our face shape? How do we know we should be having short, medium, long? What is it? What formula do you use to make that happen?
Most of the time when I have a client sit down in my chair, the first thing that I notice is what they do to their hair as soon as they sit down. So a lot of people, if they have long hair, like they start brushing it down and start almost like protecting their length. Mm-hmm. And then like yourself, Lizzie, when you came into my chair, you were going like this, and I could see like you want more height, you want more texture. So straight away, it's body for me, like how people hold themselves and what they do to their hair, and how I guess they show yourself. So some people are really closed off, so maybe they don't want a bigger change. Some people are really open and happy for change, as we have here. So you can kind of tell, you're like, okay, I can feel the vibe that I'm getting from this client. And then it's just all the questions, open questions as well. So understanding their lifestyle. So if you go swimming every day and you have your hair tied back because you go to the gym, then I'm not really going to give you something that's short, that's hard to manage. If you're someone who loves styling it a lot and loves having different changes, then that's where we can kind of introduce like fringes or bangs or layers or shaping, something like that, where it's something we can change each time without it being a huge change. And that's very depending on trends as well. So at the moment, like shaggy layers or really bouncy blowouts, like that model 90s blowout is really coming back in. So people are loving their length. So I think length and long hairs are really coming back in, but then so is shaggy, pixie kind of cuts as well. So once you kind of understand the person and see how they are and really notice how they hold themselves, you kind of start figuring out what's the best, I guess, hairstyle and I guess hair journey to go on with them as well.
So what you're saying is it's very unique and it's up to each person's face shape and their skin coloring. Because I see a lot of, just to clarify, for many, many years, I modelled and I worked for different hair companies around the world. And then I started to represent different hair companies. And I saw in the process, this incredible match of the person's skin tone, the personality, and then a colour that goes with that. But we've all seen some pretty terrible colours, especially home colour. So how do I know what colours I should I have warm tones? Should I have deep copper tones? How do I know what would work for me?
It's again, probably, going back to the basics with your skin tone and your eye colour. So a lot of time if you have cool eyes, so your blue, maybe green kind of eyes, where it's a little bit of a cooler base, and then you've got cool underlying pigment in your skin tone, then you're probably find a gold base would actually be better for you, like your gold, your orange, your reds, because it is that contrast of tone that actually complements, instead of it being like icy, washed out kind of color. It will make you probably heighten that a little bit, which some people it works really well for. But most of the time contrast is kind of the best way to figure it out. So I have quite warm skin tone, but then I do have quite warm eyes and I love warm color on me. So it really depends on what you're wanting and where you want to push it. But I do find going back to the basics and looking at people's skin tones and eye color will definitely show what will work best on them. So for yourself, Lizzie, we did something that's still quite neutral with a bit of that cool undertone, because we don't like seeing the reds, we don't like seeing the orange. And that is because next to your skin tone, it will kind of wash you out a little bit. And same
Yes,
with being
that's for
quite
sure.
light as well. Being quite blonde for yourself is too harsh against your skin tone. Like having that depth is really complementary to your skin.
Well, what I find incredible is I surf, and when I came to you, my hair was so dry and so sun bleached, and it's incredible to think that it can go from so bad condition to this, which was only cut like a week or so ago.
Yeah.
Can you explain about the treatments and how you get the hair into really good order?
Yeah, the treatments we use in Salon, we have a range of them, but the ones that we're loving at the most, and a lot of our clientels are loving, our Kerastase Fusio Dose, which are something that you can really personalize to a person's hair. So we did one for you that was more nourishing and repairing. So for your hair that was feeling quite dry and damaged, having that repair side of thing is actually going to repair the cuticle to actually hold the moisture that we're popping in. So a lot of the time I use the analogy, like if you have a bucket and you put water in it, it holds the water. But if the bucket's broken, it's not going to hold the water. So it's similar to with your hair. If your hair's damaged, it's broken, it's not going to hold the moisture that you're giving it. So you do need to repair it and let it heal first before adding all that nourishment and hydration back into the hair. So with those Fusio Dose, we can actually do that kind of straight away, and it works instantly as soon as it hits the hair, because it has a mist-like spray. So it actually penetrates the hair cuticle a lot deeper, and it will last about 6 to 8 weeks. So that's probably why you're still feeling the benefits of it now going into the surf, because it's actually still in there.
Right. And so these products, can people use them at home, or is it better to be done in a salon?
The Fusio Dose with Kerastase, they are only in Salon, but with our home hair care that we recommend, that is something that will obviously make that last longer. So your shampoo, your conditioner, and using like a treatment or mask will be that next tier down from having that concentrated kind of treatment at home.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and so with Georgie, because she's our model and is a very well-known model, what did you decide with her face shape? Why did you go for this particular cut? And you're going to show us how you blow dry that now. So what is it about her shape face, and what is it about the cut that you chose that particular cut for her shape face?
We actually did a little freshen up today. So we have gone for something a little bit deeper in tone for, I guess, our complementary of skin tone. We wanted something a little bit deeper, just to make it feel a bit more expensive is a nice word that we like to use. So it's something that complements her skin tone and she feels more like herself. So that's a confidence that's going to make, I guess, the look that we've done really pull off, because she feels amazing about herself. And then haircut, we've really kind of changed it around. Like we obviously just had quite a blunt bob, which we loved. But again, we're working with more of her curly kind of texture at the moment. So we've gone with something a little bit more loose with a bit of sharp layers going through it, so that more shaggy kind of style. So we've still got the bob in there, it's just working with a bit more of that texture so that we can scrunch, we can leave it. It's going to work a bit better with her lifestyle.
Which, of course, is great for summer, right? Because it's easy.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And that means like blow drying it as well is going to still give her a beautiful finish, which you'll see in a moment, but it still gives us that 50-50 of whether we're going to air dry it or style it.
So I guess what we're saying is a lot of people are buying shampoos and conditioners in the supermarket. And I'm not discrediting that. However, shampoos and conditioners should be selected for your specific hair type. And often, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there'll be a certain brand in the supermarket that's also in a salon, but it's not always the same content in the product. Is that correct?
Yeah. So, for example, I work with L'Oreal Paris, the international brand. We work with their products in Salon for the color. So that's L'Oreal Pro. But at the supermarkets, you can go get L'Oreal Pro home kit and do it at home. It's not the same. It's a different kind of product that they're using, and it's not going to be giving you the same longevity, but it's also what I'm giving you as a hairdresser is something that's more personalized and more, I guess, made for you than going to Coles or Woolies and grabbing a home dye kit or using that shampoo that you think will work best for you.
And that's not to discredit those kind of products. It's just that people don't understand that they are separate. And if you really want the quality, you need to go to a salon to get it done.
Yeah, exactly. I think something that I saw the other day that kind of makes it a little bit easy to understand is you're not going to go to Macca's and expect like a 5-star meal. You're paying for what you're getting. So it's the same thing with you are going to that supermarket shampoo, which is totally fine, but you're obviously going to probably feel very different kind of cosmetic feeling to your hair, and you're probably not going to find that look that you're wanting straight away, or it's not going to maybe work with your hair straight away. You know, you're paying and you're going to a professional for the reason of you're paying for that profession. You're paying for that person's education and knowledge that they've gained over the years.
See, a lot of people say to me, they go to the salon, but they can never do it the same as the hairdresser. So I have to say that since you've cut my hair, this is just a really quick dry naturally, and then just a little bit of a brush to do the front bits. But it's all pretty natural. It's not hard work at all. It's very easy, and I believe that's the way that it's been cut. So can you show us how you would style Georgie's hair?
Yeah, definitely.
Can you show us with maybe a blow dryer or a GHD or something? So there's some pictures of Georgie that I hope to put up with this footage, and it'll show you with her longer hair, her medium hair, and her short hair. So just while that's just to give you an idea of the different styles. But what are we going to do now, Evie?
Right now we're going to go in and just blow dry her hair a little bit more. So we're going to set it with a bit more product so that we can have a little play with some different styles with a straightener and a curling wand to show you how to do that too.
So can you advise us of the product and what you're doing as you're going?
Yeah, exactly. Sure can. So I am actually going to add in a product. It is from Goldwell. This will give us a bit more of a sea salt curly kind of look to the hair. So that's going to help with the style. It's got heat protectant in it as well. I find picking up the hair and spraying into it will give you a bit more even distribution into the hair. And I kind of just scrunch it in to begin with. And I'm going to go in and actually use a round brush to blow dry, because that's just going to give us a bit of volume, a bit of texture, but it's also going to help us with that cut that I've just done to help with those layers. So it's going to smooth them a little bit more. And I'm just going to go in and do it in sections because our hair is a little bit dry already. So I don't want to over dry it either. I just want to style it a little bit more. Twist it around a little bit. See if you can. Got my blow dryer.
So if you have a look at the way that the brush is being used, just giving it a bit of a twist instead of just the yes.
So I'm going in with my blow dryer, and as I kind of heat my brush up, I'm just spinning it slightly with my hands. So kind of going in and rotating it to just give us a bit more of that flick with the haircut, like I said, with those layers that we've created. And just not, like I said, over drying it, because we do have that thicker textured hair, so I don't want to dry it out either. I'm just going in with that last section and just adding a bit more kind of volume. So I've just gone in really softly to add a bit of volume. So this is something that you could do with your hair, Lizzie, as well, and just give it a bit of texture, and just at that last minute before it's dry, just twist it a little bit more through the mid lengths and ends, just to give it a bit more texture and volume. So I'll just finish this last. So I've just done that side. You can see we've just got like a bit of volume to it. It's got a bit of movement around the face, and that was just really softly adding a bit of texture with the product as well to help with that styling. I'm going to go through the other side and actually show you a different technique as well, so that you can see a different way. So if you're wanting something a little bit smoother as well, how to do that at home. So I'll twist you around the other way. And I'm actually going to go in with a paddle brush this time, and I'm actually going to go around with the curve of the head to give it a bit more of a smoother result. And that's going to be good for our ladies who love a nice sleek bob, or like to have a bit more of a straighter look and just do it really quickly with a blow dry.
Okay, so the brushes are also really important, the tools you're using to achieve the certain outcome.
Yeah, so at the moment I'm using my GHD Helios, which is amazing. I love it. It is really easy to blow dry, and it's really lightweight. So that helps with obviously blow drying your own hair or someone else's hair. But it also means that you're going to get a really smooth finish, because it is something that actually heats up the hair and cools down at the same time. So it's setting the look that you're getting. So it makes it last a lot longer. So you can see we've got like that slightly little bit more smoother around the face here. And that was just with a paddle brush, so just moving it in all different directions around the head. And then we've got that bit more kind of texture, bouncy blow dry on the side here. So it means like super easy to do for yourself. It's just getting a bit more practice in it, and obviously understanding what kind of look you're wanting from the style as well. But yeah, you can definitely see we've got lots of volume on this side and then a little bit smoother on the other side.
And what about a curling iron or a GHD? Do you use those often?
Yeah, so I use my straightener for a lot of my curls. So I find the thicker hair, it's a lot easier, because it's actually going to smooth down the cuticle of your hair and then curl it. So that helps with maintenance of obviously that unruly frizz. So that's going to help, especially in the humid climate that we live in. And then a curling tong is really good for more volume and texture, because it's going to be working with that kind of natural curl or natural frizz and not calm it down too much. So it's going to give you that longevity and a bit more bounce in the hair as well.
Right. So what we're saying is we need a really good cut, we need the right products, then you need the right tools. So you need the right blow dry, the right brushes. Yeah. So that's where these things probably go wrong, because people are using the wrong tools to create a look, and that's what's not working for them. Okay, so do you have any advice? Obviously, you can be young and fabulous and gorgeous like Georgie, but what about the more mature market? Do you have any special tips for mature men and mature women on what they should be doing with their hair?
Yeah, I think again it is really dependent on the kind of hairdresser you have, and I guess the knowledge that they have of mature hairs, and that really depends on if someone maybe has done that extra kind of education, or maybe looked into it a little bit more. And it's just listening as well. So a lot of the time clients will, they put a lot of trust in a hairdresser. Like we are like a cheap therapist. So a lot of people will tell us a lot of things that they're going through. So I find a lot of the time people are finding that their hair's thinning out. They're feeling like their hair's fragile, it's breaking, products probably not working very well on them. They've used everything in the market to help with this. And most of the time, it sucks to say, but it is just time and patience and the right products and the right hairdresser to go on the journey with you. So understanding that it is going to be a little bit before your hair maybe gets back to something that you used to have. So again, a lot of clients say, my hair was so luscious when I was 20. Well, unfortunately, you're not 20 anymore, so it is always going to change. And you do go through a bit of change probably every 7 to 10 years, and that's a lot of time when a lot of women or men are going through hormonal changes, all very stressful kind of events in their life. So if you really think about it, you go through your 20s and you're finding a job and you're finishing uni. That's really stressful, so your hair might go through a bit of challenge there. Next stop is probably where you're maybe getting married, having kids, all that kind of stuff. So that's very stressful for your body to have a bub, and obviously very sleep deprived, so that doesn't help either. And then a lot of the times it's that menopause and hormonal changing in that as well. So your body's going through a lot, and it kind of just is showing you that you need to just calm down and just listen to it. And that's where you might want to kind of go to a hairdresser and come up with a great maybe journey to go on to get your hair back to good health.
We've got a lot of clients that are international, and they unfortunately can't come and see you. They probably could get a consultation. But what would you advise our international clients? How do they select the hairdresser for them? Number one, obviously there's a lot to do with price range, etc. But what would you suggest for someone to find the right person to style their hair?
Well, social media is a really great tool to use. So, looking at people's Instagrams or the salon's Instagram and maybe seeing the work that they do, and if that is the work that you like and want for your hair. So kind of, if you're a blonde and you love being blonde, then maybe looking for a salon that really does amazing blondes. If you're someone who loves short hair, then looking for a salon that has that more speciality in short hair. It's really the research going into it. So Google, again, you can search up best salons in my area, and most of the time they will come up with some really good lists of salons that you can go to, and that's probably where the research starts, and you can have a little look at what suits you best. If it's, some people love going to a salon that wins lots of awards, that's fantastic, but definitely research if those awards are something that rectifies what you want. So if your hair's short and you're not getting a great short haircut and they get lots of awards in long hair, maybe that's not the salon you need to go to. It's just kind of finding the place that maybe is your hub to get the best outcome for your hair.
Great. So what would you say, what do you love most about your job?
From the beginning, I've just always loved the transformation that you can do. So from in the salon, people coming in and me transforming their hair from something that might not be what suited to them and making them feel amazing, and they walk out the door with the biggest grin on their face. But it's also photo shoots and all that kind of experience that comes with doing competitions and entering things. It's that thrill of doing something that also excites me. I obviously love looking after my clients and doing really beautiful consumer looks, but doing creatively what I like to do as well is quite fun and exciting. So that is probably where I have really great both sides of the industry, and talking to people is such a great way of knowing lots of amazing people and experiencing their experiences and going along with their journeys of, I have so many clients that have just had lots of babies and got married and getting engaged. So these people start becoming your friends and your family. So it's a nice job to have, that you really start having this little hub of people that are your people. So it's a really great job.
Your tribe.
Yeah, forever.
So we should also talk about the fact that you've done Marie Claire, GQ, O Weekend, Hair Biz magazine. So you've done quite a lot of editorial and that kind of exciting stuff that we all love in our fashion industry, yes?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I just recently was in Marie Claire for my L'Oreal Color Trophy. I came third place, so that was displayed in the magazine as the trends that are coming back into style for the year. So that was really exciting to obviously have my work in that, and also showing the color that I do in salon quite a bit. So at the moment, it's really quite exciting because a lot of people are coming in and wanting that short, shaggy kind of look, or big bouncy layers and bangs, and going for more of those golden caramel pinky kind of tones. So it was really exciting to see my work there, and then obviously that comes with people knowing that's my work and liking that I do that, and then coming into the salon with me as well.
Fantastic. So just to finish off, did you want to use the GHD on Georgie's hair? And we'll see
definitely
what we can do with that, because I understand the straightening aspect. I just don't understand how to curl with a straightener.
Yeah, definitely. We can do a little demo on the front. You're all good?
Yeah.
I'll just do around the face. So I might do, again, those two different sides, so you can kind of see the difference between your straightener and your curler. So I've just got my GHD classic curl tong. So this is going to give you something a little bit tighter, which is good because we are wanting something that's a bit more of a bend and then keeping those ends a little bit straighter. So we're going to go in and use our clamp because that's going to be our best friend. And we're going to do the same kind of technique of what I just did with my round brush. So I'm taking my sections. I take quite big sections. It'll make it a little bit easier for yourself when you do it at home, having the bigger sections. If you do have any mistakes, you're probably not going to see them because you've got more hair in there. It's going to come out a little bit softer. I'm going in with my tong standing upright, and I'm twisting it straight away, twisting it out, and just letting the ends fall out. So you just get a bit more of a curl through the middle there and a little bit straighter ends. And this is just going to give you a really soft, beachy sort of wave, but it's going to give you a bit more of that texture that we like in our hair. And again, just taking big sections, using my clips, starting from the front and twisting away from my face so we don't have like a Shirley Temple kind of look going on. And you can definitely do something similar with a straightener. This is just going to give you a bit more of that longevity and bounce that we like in our hair. And because we've got that heat protectant in there already from blow drying, it's still in there. You don't need to spray again. It's already got that coverage in there. You don't need to redo that. And most of the time I just kind of shake out this style, give it a bit of movement, but not brushing it out. Because again, we like texture, we like movement. I don't want to go in and then just smooth everything we've done. Like, we want to work with that texture and movement.
It's really soft and really natural. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful. We'll go over to the other side. Yeah. Again, using my clips to clip up hair. I'm going to go in with my straightener. So again, that is my GHD straightener. I'm going to go around the face, and I'm going to go for something a little bit softer and actually go and do a bit of a waterfall wave, which is just holding up my straightener horizontal and just going up and down and then straightening the ends, and you get quite a soft bend in the hair. So this is really good, again, if people like their soft bobs, or they like something that's a little bit smoother, or they've got naturally kind of curly hair and they just want to kind of calm it down a little bit. This is a really great way of doing a style that's not going to give you any extra volume or texture. It's really just working with the hair and flattening it down a little bit more. And again, big sections.
So, Evie, I guess the other trick with all of this is the sectioning of the hair. I think people just go in and start straightening, but they don't section it. So
yeah. So I always say like half up, half down is probably the best way to just start, and then work from that and add more sections if you need to, if your hair's thicker. Georgie's hair is quite thick, so we do a few more sections than our finer hair, just so that we can get through the hair. But what I usually say is around the ears, so you'll kind of go back from the ear and around the top of the head, and then you go through where the eyebrow arch is and go backwards, and then you have your top section. So it really should be only 3 internal sections, and then just take your little sections in between that, and just work with bigger sections, because it's always going to make your hair a softer result, and then you can kind of work with that as you go forward, and you get better at styling. But you can
absolutely
see again,
beautiful. And I noticed that you both have bangs. Is that a big fashion statement at the moment?
No, we actually spoke about this the other day. We just, I personally have a big forehead, and I just like to cover my forehead with my bangs. And Evie feels the same way, that we both just have bigger foreheads. Like to hide our
it's just
forehead.
a face shape thing. See, that's
Yeah.
how well these face shapes work. Look, it's been an absolute pleasure. As you know, we've got salons and products that we represent all around the world. It's really exciting to find some fresh, new blood that is so skilled, and to have a fabulous model like you, of course, Georgie. So my name's Lizzie Wagner on behalf of the Lizzie Wagner Group. We're so happy that we have had a brief chat with Evie Golding today, and thank you to the beautiful Georgie. Tut. And I'm sure we'll be back in the next few weeks to give some of the latest hair tips. Thank you so much, and bye for now.